On the Instagram page, one of one, belonging to DeSean Jackson, he posted a Photoshop of himself in a Raiders uniform. Yeah, looks good. Looks a little thicker in this Photoshop. I think the first report of this was Josina Anderson tweeting that DeSean told her he's going to be a Raider. And so I guess he's going to be a Raider.
Yeah, I mean, they have a huge need now with, Ruggs gone as speed receiver. And you saw it today.
Hey, we're glad you're watching our video. Subscribe to our channel. Give this video a like. We appreciate it.
Yep. 50% of you are not subscribed to the channel. And also, I need you to subscribe to the podcast below in the description.
We're sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka.
Yes, we are. #1 vodka in America.
On to the video.
They just couldn't really push the ball down the field beside a couple Darren Waller balls. He was just having to dink and dunk it because, it changed their offense, right? The no speed element, really, it felt shortened the field for them, just shortened the box for them, just tightened everything up. And he just does. Now, would you rather have, before last Monday, right, Henry Ruggs a better player? Like DeSean Jackson that they're getting. You and I played golf with Shane Vereen on Friday and just picking his brain about some of the guys he played with, and he was like, I can't even, articulate how fucking good this guy was. Like, he was the best player on a loaded team and one of the best players in the country. And then when I got to Philly, it was a couple years removed, like he was in the peak of his powers. He was a remarkable player. He's not that guy anymore. He was playing like 5-6 snaps a game for the Rams. That's why he told Sean McVay, like, you got to trade me. He's like, well, you can seek a trade. And there was no seek the trade to be, it wasn't available. No one was trading for DeSean Jackson. But it's kind of similar, but they have a winning record. Like when the Niners, it's a desperation move. Like the Raiders don't ideally want to do this. They're forced into this situation. But he didn't make a couple plays earlier this year. Like he can still run. And as long as you can still run, unlike with the Rams, because just the way their offense was, he's going to get a chance to play, right? He's going to, like next week, they play the Chiefs Sunday Night Football. I mean, wouldn't you imagine he's getting at least 20, 30 snaps for the Raiders? Like, he's going to be on the field.
I mean, 20, 30 might be a little high, but yeah, I expect him to get, my guess is going to be like 15, 20.
Yeah, 20 to 30 is a big jump, but let's just say, 15, 20, 25, somewhere in that, depending on how this week goes. He's in shape. He's been playing, right? It's not like he's been on the couch.
To quote, are you quoting Gus Johnson there?
What?
He's in shape. Old NCAA tournament highlight.
Well, because let's say he had been out of the league all year and they just signed him right now, then I would say, who knows? But he's been on a team and practicing. Like, he's in football mode.
We talked earlier, or I guess the end of last week, after Derek Carr's press conference about how he's invaluable to the organization as a leader in trauma. I also think this is another area where, the Rams, there were no reports that he was difficult. They just agreed that they weren't using him that much and he wasn't getting used and they were going to let him find another place. And I think Derek's great with players who, historically we would call them like Devo receivers. They're not signed at OBJ. I think Derek would be good with Odell. I think Odell would like him because I think Derek, probably from his upbringing, being around Dave and just always being around Andre Johnson, being around star receivers, understanding what a star receiver wants and understanding how a star receiver can help a quarterback. I think he wants to make plays for those types of players. I think he wants to be around those guys, star receivers, and be a star quarterback with a star receiver. Now, he's got a few stars around him as it is, Darren Waller, right, most notably. But I think Derek, to me, Derek will not put his ego in the way of a star receiver. He will do his best to feed a star receiver's ego. It's why for everything that, you can't help if a guy's going to be whatever Antonio Brown was with the Niners, with the Raiders. But I think part of that was probably Gruden. Derek is now free to treat a star receiver however he wants, and everyone, including the coaching staff, will fall in line behind that.
He did burn his feet off.
He did. But I think Derek is good with big kind of guys, big personalities, big needs, those types of players. Like, I think Derek would be good with Juju. I think Derek would be good with that type of. Now, I mean, Devontae, that's an easy one. But I think Derek understands.
I think Crabtree and Amari are the easiest.
No, Derek's been around it his whole life. I think he gets it. I think he gets NFL players. And I think it helps him in this type of situation. I think it's a good spot for DeSean to go too.
Yeah, I heard Schrager told Bill Simmons, and obviously he's really tight with Sean. Like you said, this was just a simple football thing. He just wanted to play more, and he didn't understand. And Sean was like, "Well, we just don't think you're as good as these other guys." Like it was just a black and white football thing. It wasn't, DeSean's moping, and they're not on the same page. Like McVay and him are buddies. Like DeSean is not. I think it's as simple as now Odell Beckham is not technically available right now. Like Sean he's a free agent. You can sign him right now. Odell still has to like pass through waivers, which I need to text someone. I don't understand why he'd have to go through waivers. He's a ninth-year guy. Like I thought he's immediately just a free agent, but maybe
Something
it's after the trade
related?
deadline. Yeah, that's the one's a little weird. But I do just wonder, like if you ask Mayock, like on their board, if all things being equal, would they just rather have DeSean than Odell Beckham Jr.? And I don't know. It could just be, logistically.
Sorry, you're asking, would the Raiders rather have DeSean than Odell?
Because like DeSean tomorrow can show up at the Raiders and start, doing stuff. Where
Odell's probably better than him right now, but Odell comes with a whole other set of things.
Yeah, maybe they didn't want to mess with that.
Like DeSean can be is a complimentary player at this point of his career.
And that's what they need, kind of, right? Because
right.
Ruggs was going to become more. But based on his numbers, he was playing a complementary role. He just could have more impact. He's just a better player than DeSean. Younger, faster. Even though DeSean can still really run. Like I don't think anyone's going, DeSean's like a 4.48 guy now. I think he still like looks 4.3 to me running. But he's been injured. The Rams, it felt like they were taking shots to him earlier in the season, and then maybe he just fell out.
Did we all just see the same highlight?
No, but it happened
sideways and slow.
It happened back-to-back weeks. They were taking shots to him. Even in the game they lost, I remember watching they beat the Bucks. They lost a game. Oh, they lost the Cardinals game. He was taking shots. Stafford threw a pick.
Hey, just want to tell you guys to check out Liquid IV. Use the code HAM to get 25% off and go hydrate.
Yep. Also, you want to get your gamble on? Go to mybookie.ag. Use the promo code HAM1 and gamble away.
I mean, he got 2, 7, 10, 13, 15 targets in 6 games. 7 games. His snap count was 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 catches. He went 14 snaps, 3 snaps, 21 snaps, 22 snaps, 20 snaps, 16 snaps, 4 snaps. So is he going to be happy if he gets 20 snaps?
Well, did he lose it after the 4-snap game? This is not being tolerated for DeSean.
The 4-snap game was his last game.
He does feel. I just saw in the chat someone said, Odell Beckham is a lot like Josh Norman. There is Odell Beckham is a better player than Josh Norman today, right now, midseason. But there is an element with those two guys that is just like, it doesn't feel the DeSean, even though when you say his name, you feel like it does, but it doesn't really. Like he's not bringing that. And clearly the Raiders, this happened immediately, right? It felt like the game ended and he was signed.
Yeah.
Because he posted this, it felt like in the first quarter of the Niner game. It's like, oh, DeSean's on the Raiders. So they had lost that game, Max, at MetLife Stadium. And did they go into that game just waiting to see, or do you think they were going to win or lose? They were.
I think win or lose, they were going to sign him.
Yeah, and it's a good from his standpoint. I bet other teams were interested. It is a good spot because the guy who did his role is gone, right? Like you just filled that role. Like there was something there. It's now empty. He gets to go. Like a lot of teams, like, can you come help us? Like, no, we are missing a guy. You play that position. Can you do that thing? Like it's pretty easy on his standpoint to just go, I am going to play, right?
Also, if you're him, you look around, you take the list of teams, however many that are interested, and go, okay, how many quarterbacks? Like Derek just makes a lot of sense to play with.